Nicci Gerrard, welcome
Thank you very much.
in the Netherlands.
Thank you.
Congratulations with another novel, Nooit, vergeten, missing persons in English. Can you please tell something about the book, introduce the book to our readers, and introduce the characters in the book?
Yes, Missing Persons is about, at its heart, there is one family, a mother, a father, a son, and two daughters. And the son, Johnny, when he goes off to university, disappears. So the novel is about various kinds of missing. And Johnny, we never see to begin with. He just disappears. He's like a black hole around which all these different griefs occur. So really what I'm trying to write about is what it feels. It's you know, in a way, I think that when a child goes missing, it's like a kind of death, except there's no kind of resolution to it. There's no way of mourning it. You're in a terrible, hellish state of suspension. So I wanted to write about what it's like to be a mother who's missing her son, and that's, the mother is called Isabel, or a father, who in this book is Felix, missing his son, or a sister missing her beloved brother, and different ways of kind of dealing with that grief and that waiting. And partly it's about it was partly inspired by the fact, really, that I think that in this, certainly in London, which is where I spend a lot of my time, there are hordes of young people who are like kind of ghosts among us, who we don't see, but who kind of come out late at night or kind of sit in doorways, who are the kind of invisible people who kind of dropped out of their world, which is what I wanted to write about. But I hope it's not just grim. Sorry, it's meant to be. I mean, I think the word emotional thriller would describe it. It's meant to be a thriller of the emotion, a kind of book of psychological awareness, of trying to look at things and what goes on in the mind as well as what goes on in the world. Sean and I write psychological thrillers, and when we write together, we're writing about crimes that happen and solutions. So Blue Monday, for instance, which is in the first in an octet of books, is about a psychotherapist called Frida Klein, who kind of gradually gets drawn into the world of the police procedural. And so it's almost like, she's a detective of the mind who works alongside detectives in the kind of external world. And that's not my subject. In a way, I think I write about things that are less immediately plot-driven and more kind of domestic and intimate. On the other hand, there's a way in which I would say that almost every novel that I love anyway is about ordinary people and extraordinary things, about what happens at watershed moments in your life, about, I think that there's a way in which, there's the plot in the outside world, and then there's how it affects your inner landscape, and that's what I love writing about, whether as Nicci French or Nicci Gerrard.
And what are typical ingredients in a Nicci Gerrard novel?
It's very hard to answer that myself. Typical ingredients. I've written 5 novels on my own now, and if I try and think about what links them together, I suppose I'm somewhat, you can almost say that you don't seek out subjects seek you out, and there are certain subjects that have me by the throat, and one is about how the kind of past accompanies the present. I'm really convinced that the older you get, you don't leave your childhood behind. For instance, your childhood goes with you and won't let you go, and you have to somehow try and deal with that. And in all of my novels, I think the kind of past has erupted into the present in some way or other. I think even though I keep saying I'm going to write a very happy novel next time, I like writing about kind of damage and doubt and kind of lives that go a bit wrong. I'm rather obsessed with the way in which we think we're in control of the lives that we lead, and actually we're not. Bad luck can happen to any of us and trip us up, and then what happens?
In Missing Persons, there's a lot of bad luck. You are a mother, and this mother in the Missing Persons misses her son. How is it to write about a subject like that?
For 15 years I've been thinking of writing this book, but partly I wanted to write it because I covered a trial about lots of young women who went missing and who in fact were killed, and nobody had missed them. So I was very haunted by this kind of subject of people who go missing and aren't missed, which you see quite a lot, I think. So it's been a subject that's been kind of bubbling away even before my children started growing up and becoming the age of Johnny in this book and leaving home and me having to let go of them. And I think, like almost every parent, I'm doubly obsessed. I'm obsessed by the fear of losing my children, but I'm also kind of troubled by the way in which it's sometimes easy for parents not to let go, and how we have to let go. So partly the novel is about letting go as well as losing, about how to let go. And I think that although it was actually quite difficult to write this novel, and in fact that for 6 months I just stopped in the middle. I came to this shuddering halt and stopped and couldn't write it, and I think I found it too painful to write. Nevertheless, I think by writing about things, you kind of deal with them. You know, it's scary to think about them, but when you write about something, you put a shape on it, you can confront your fears, you make things safe that don't feel safe. So perhaps it was some kind of therapeutic act.
I know exactly why people should read this book. Can you tell them also why they should?
Can you tell them?
Yes, I can.
Do you know what I hope? What I hope it is. I wanted to write a book that was, I think I called it before, an emotional thriller. That was an emotional thriller that's about kind of love and loss and tenderness. And although there's quite a lot of sorrow in it, I hope it's quite redemptive as well. So it's about people healing themselves, people who aren't safe making themselves safe, people kind of finding solutions within their own selves and helping each other. I wanted to write a book that was quite troubling but quite kind.
Thank you very much, you're wonderful. As an author. As a human being, I don't know.
Thank you.